Are you concerned that you come off as being too masculine, that maybe men find you intimidating, or you attract men who are weak, even, or even narcissists or emotionally unavailable? Maybe you are just aware that you don't really connect to your feminine side. You don't even know what that is, really. If that's the case, then you're going to want to stick around and hear what I have to say today. I'm Sarika Jain, love and dating coach, and author of the 90-Day Soulmate Plan. So I run a survey. It's a quiz called the Love Magnet Quiz on my website. And one of the questions in the quiz is, how do you feel about the masculine feminine balance in your body? And most women say that they feel more masculine than feminine. So we know this. We're aware if someone asks us this question, we know it. But how does it show up in our lives? And why? Why are we more masculine than feminine, especially as modern, ambitious women? I can speak for myself. I attended I did engineering as an undergrad and I did my MBA. And so I've always been in masculine fields and I've worked in the corporate world. And so it's been normal for me to be very masculine, high achieving, driven. And, there were times when I was in my feminine, sexy side, and I would get feedback that I'm dressing too sexy or I'm attracting too many men at work. I've gotten these comments from managers. And so I've had to dim down my feminine side and also my emotional side, showing emotion at work wasn't very good. And, being more intellectual, more analytical. So all of these qualities were supposedly helping me in my career, which now I look back on and I realize that it's because I hadn't awakened my feminine side, really. That I was not able to be in my true feminine in my dating life. And so I often went from being serious and masculine at work to having to be flirty and feminine on dates. And I felt like I was living two different lives, you know? And so, it all came to a head when I was engaged to someone and he broke up with me. And I was so heartbroken. I wanted to understand why this had happened. And I went to go see a psychic healer, and she told me that my heart was blocked and my sacral chakra was blocked. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know anything about chakras and energy fields. I worked on Wall Street. And so, but what I did see was that the left side of my body was becoming numb, and I felt almost like a shell of a person. And I didn't feel connected to myself or anyone around me, really. I mean, even though I was engaged to someone. And so, as it had turned out, I had, you know, not been in my sacred feminine, divine feminine side. I was approaching dating and love from a more toxic feminine space, you know? And a lot of it had to do with conditioning around being a people pleaser and being the giver in relationships, working to make relationships successful, being goal driven and dating and numbers driven, even, like trying to go on enough dates so that, that 1% probability of meeting the right partner happens quicker. And so I just had an analytical, goal driven mindset to love and dating. And even if I was just like happy go lucky, kind of just letting men show up in my life, I was in my more toxic feminine space where if there was a really good guy, I would push him away. But if it was, a not so great guy, an emotionally unavailable man or something, I was more attracted to him. So in a way, I was not connected to my feminine side. And so when I began my healing journey, I began to awaken this divine feminine side that lay dormant within me. And this feminine energy is dormant in every woman. Okay. It has to be activated because we've been so conditioned in our culture to not accept it. It's been pushed down. So you see little girls, you see that they're in their natural feminine essence. I have 3 daughters, all of them under the age of 7, and I can see they're just natural, you know, in their bodies and, how they see themselves, and their hearts are open. And over time, because of media, education, watching our parents, etc., our peers, we begin to take on all of these different ideas around being a woman, and it becomes a construct, right? And so when you're out there in the dating world or in a marriage, you're coming to the marriage from this more conditioned place. And it could be a traditional housewife, or it could be type A woman, go getter woman, or hustler, or like whatever archetype of woman that that you're being. It's not coming from that true innate sense of authenticity and power within. Okay. And, in Hinduism, it's Shiva and Shakti. Shiva is the masculine energy, Shakti is feminine energy. And I'm sure this is true across different indigenous cultures, and other religions even talk about it. And so, this feminine energy, just talking about what are the qualities, it's of compassion, it's of embodiment, intuition. It's about receiving rather than giving. It's about pleasure. It's about receptivity. So I talked about receiving, receptivity, listening, uh, loving. You know, um, you know, what else? I mean, there's so many qualities to the feminine that are opposite to the masculine, which the masculine qualities are being assertive and goal oriented, intellectual, analytical, and so and giving. Okay, and both are necessary. They're not one is better than the other. It's just that what happens is that when you're not embracing your feminine side, then you're more in your masculine. And that tends to push men away because then they're competing on the same qualities rather than being attracted to. It's like, for two magnets to attract to each other, you need the North Pole and the South Pole, right? Same thing with the feminine and masculine. The polarity has to exist. And so if you want to attract a more masculine man, then you have to embrace your feminine side. And that doesn't mean you have to dim your masculine side. It just means that you need to awaken your feminine side and come into yin and yang within yourself. It's divine union, hieros gamos. And when you're in that state of divine union within you, then you begin to attract men who've also done this work of, you know, balancing out their own inner masculine and feminine. And when you bring your feminine side forward in dating, then you attract the masculine in the man. And so, you know, that's how you create chemistry. That's how you create a magnetic pull between you and your partner. Okay. And so this isn't about manipulation. It's not about control. It's a way of being. It's a way of approaching life, and it's about activating this natural, innate power and wisdom in embodiment within you. Okay. So when you are in your feminine, you're more embodied. You come from a place of pleasure. So, even your relationship with sex becomes more about authenticity and being pleasured and accepting that men want to pleasure you. You don't need to pleasure men. I mean, of course, there's, give and take in relationship for sure, but the feminine innately likes to be pleasured and the masculine likes to pleasure. Okay. And so it's about connecting to healthy notions of sexuality and empowering notions, even, and a love and reverence for your body, seeing your body as a temple, which it is. The woman's body is a temple, so is the man's body, by the way. But I'm just talking about your body is a temple. And when you can really see that it needs to be honored and revered, and it holds the feminine essence, right? That's the power of being a woman, is you get to hold this feminine essence, which then attracts the masculine in a natural way. And there's another superpower that the feminine has, and that's of creation. Okay, so we have a womb, and we can create life, and we can also create possibilities. Our desires get manifested through the energy from our womb, because our womb and our hearts are like electromagnetic fields. Okay. And so the masculine is attracted to that and co creates with our feminine. So I'm just sharing energetic principles. I love to get metaphysical, but on a real practical level, how can you, as an ambitious woman, embrace your feminine side? It takes embodiment, it takes mindfulness, it takes maybe getting some support from divine feminine teachers. I share a lot about it in my book, The 90-Day Soulmate Plan. But there are also amazing teachers out there about helping women reclaim their connection with their divine feminine side. And it's not hard. It's just about activating it and being in a practice group, even, or doing the practices to bring you into that magnetic, receptive, intuitive place, so that when you are dating, you're coming off as being relatable and approachable and, magnetic and radiant. And you're going to attract synchronicities, abundance, money, job opportunities from this space, promotions, and even Mr. Right, because you're going to be in energetic alignment with attracting that healthy love into your life. Okay. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. Please like and subscribe if this resonates for you, because I want to create more videos on being in your feminine power and dating from a conscious, joyful place and attracting lasting love. So see you in the next video.